Hey guys, another edits video here. This one is from Order Pro. Probably said that wrong, but oh well. He did a level based on the original Super Mario Bros. 2 level 1-1 from the game on the NES. So we'll first go through his level, and then we'll go for mine. Um, yeah, so let's go into the edit. There we go. Right. So this bit here, I thought was pretty cool. It's pretty spot on, to be honest. It looks just like it, the original version. Um, yeah, there wasn't much here. My version's pretty much the same here. I changed the way you come down off the start section. I put a door there, and then I drop down like the original. But either way, it's either way's good for that. So this was alright. I like that. And this is the main bulk of the level, if I remember correctly. Um, we'll go through it. This is pretty accurate. The only thing that isn't accurate with this is like how big some of the platforms are, like spaces and stuff. But I know why that is. It's all down to space. Um, this, if there's, I'll tell you, the one thing in your level I wasn't keen on is this. I know why it's like it because it's again space, and I'll explain that in a minute. But this here, and the reason I'm not keen on that is because when you jump over it, Mario goes off the screen, and it's difficult to judge when he comes back, where he comes back down when he's off screen. And of course, you've got spikes here for the water, so if you do misjudge that because of that, you're going to get punished for it. Do you know what I mean? But I do understand why it's that high. So, like I said, I'll come back to that. Um, and you've seen rather than I know you haven't done like an exact recreation. It's more like you took chunks out of it, what you wanted to fit in. I mean, at the end of the day, you just couldn't fit it all in. And I do understand why. I'm not gonna fault you for that. So you go through here, and this is like this is where the doors lead to, if you remember. Those you don't know. I thought it was a bit strange that this wasn't more joined up with that section, but I think what you was going for was a more linear experience where instead of having like multiple paths, like you said in the Reddit thread, you wanted to focus on one way, which I understand. And then here you go. And then we're at the cloud section of the original level. This was alright. It's a shame we haven't got the green background platforms instead of the whites and the what was it, the creamy colour and all that stuff. I like the clouds, and yeah, the way you did this, the way you continued going up with the doors, that's what I've done in my version as well. It's a shame we can't go like make more vertical levels. Um, this I thought, oh, I didn't think about it. This I thought was really cool. I like this. At first I was like, oh no, Hammer Bros with something on top of it, but then I realised it's actually really easy to get. It's not, well, not easy, but it's pretty simple. It's not like it's really difficult. Yeah, the Koopas were obviously like the eggshells that was it Birdo? I can't remember now, but he fires out. I've actually done something a little different from this. I've tried to mimic the original boss a little more, but I like this. I just want to point that out. Even though I've changed it, I do like this. I like this, what you've done there. That was really cool. Um, anyway, moving on. And yeah, here we go. Now we're in the bomb section. There is one thing I would change here, actually. No. Oh, I'm not very good at doing that, by the way. What I would do differently. Um, what do I do? Yeah, instead of having that like, well, skip rid of the game for the minute. Instead of having like that, I do that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, if you put them down there and then have like something blocking that way bombs come out this side, but it means you're safer when you're over here, so there's no unexpected. I'm really bad at doing that, but it's like when you're over here in this section here. I just think it's better. I think it because it's hard to like, predict when they're going to fire out, and the problem with those things that they continue to fire out constantly, so it gets a bit crowded. So I think doing that, then you can come over here if you fail and get another one, you know. So yeah, I would personally change that. Not did I pick that arrow there? Well, I don't think the arrow is necessary. I don't remember there being arrows in the original. That that isn't needed. I mean, there's no other way to go really. You've got to go that way. So, and, oh, I see why you did it now. Just in case someone didn't realise that you had to blow the blocks up. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to back out of that. Keep the arrow just in case. I've just figured out why you did that now. Because if someone doesn't know about, you can blow those ones up. Um, one thing you could do. It's not in the original, but I've done it in some of my maps. Is you could like do a bit of an example. For example, let's have a look. Like down here somewhere. I know it's not in the original, but so if you did that, and when someone comes up, they come along here, you see, and then obviously I see the bomb down there, batter blow, and do that. That way they might realise, oh, we can get through there. To be perfectly honest, you would probably, so you might do that. Just to show it, those blocks do blow up. That way you'll be able to, it's almost like showing them without any damage sort of thing. Now they'll see that and think, oh, that's how that can happen. But like I say, you don't have to do that, I don't think. It's a remake, isn't it? So, you know, the people playing it are probably going to realise what you got to do. So anyway, I'm going to skip this because I am not very... Yeah, I've noticed that with these bombs. It's on the original, it's a lot easier to tell when they're about to go off. But on this, it's really... Yeah. It's like they stop flashing and then they blow pretty much a few seconds after. But I'm going to skip that because I'm absolutely terrible at doing it. Oh, right, yeah. And that's the end. So yeah, the only really thing I think you should change is that water section, just because it's you go off screen. But the thing is, I know what you've done. It's at the top because if it's down, if this like this section is any lower, it becomes visible over here. And if it's down if it's right at the bottom, you can actually skip whole sections. That's why you got it up there. And I'll be honest, I spent a good hour messing around with this section, trying to get it lower and more detailed, but it's like the space was so limited, it was almost impossible. That's another thing. I wasn't sure why you did it. Let me just get it. You've used like these platforms here, which is fine. That's like just like the original. But then you on over here, you seem to have used these like mushroom platforms. I wasn't sure why. I don't remember them being in the original. So I personally would do that. I can't remember. Yeah, it was like that one. I just think they look better. So you'd like do that. I think they look better. Maybe you did it because to make them different from the water. Because obviously they're like very similar blocks, aren't they? I've come up with a different way of doing water, but this obviously the blue's perfect for water, isn't it? So, and the star, I do remember the star in there. Um, but yeah, that's the original level that I based mine off, although it has turned out a little bit different. Because what I tell you what I've done in this version actually. So what I've done, this here, no, wait a minute, let me get this right. This section here, which is the main bulk of the level, I've actually got this in the subworld, and so basically the subworld is made up of the entire, like the main core of the remake, you know, of the main level. So this section. So I've got all this in the subworld, all that. I've got the clouds section as well. But what I've done, because the end's here, and to avoid like doing what you've had to do, where you have to like have a pipe go to it, I've actually got the boss fight along with the eagle that you go through here. So yeah, and then so anyway, I'll switch to my one so it's easier to show then. Right. And the extra space for the metas in the subworld it does wonders for how much detail you can put into your level. Trust me. Uh, right. So first thing you'll notice is the dark background, because in the original this first section was at night. So that's what I've done. Like I said, I did change the start. I thought that I wanted to keep it like as close to the original as possible. So you got like little drop down, and as much of a drop down as the original games version, but it's close. It's the best I could do really, because you can't go up high. I've changed the Goombas to Koopas, and the reason for that is the Goombas fall off the edge, whereas the Shy Guys in the original game, they would like act like these red shells. They'd like they wouldn't go off the edge basically. Also, if you remember the Shy Guys, you could actually pick them up and throw them. So in a way, like when you jump on their heads, the shells, it's almost like a Shy Guy really, just in Koopa form. Down here, it's the first time you see the grass. In the original, the ground was like all grass basically, but there's no way of doing that, not in this setting. But what I've done to simulate grass is obviously I've used a mushroom platform and just like hidden the root, well, like the stem of it underneath the ground. It's a good way of picking grass in themes that ain't got grass. You know, you could do this in like the ghost house, I think. Yeah, yeah. I think the mushroom platforms are universal, so you can do that on pretty much any theme, any set, any like skin. Down here, because I've got the main level in the subworld, it means I have to use a pipe to get to it, unfortunately, which means I have to sacrifice the door. So what I've done to sort of mimic doors is I've drawn them with tracks. So like you can like make your own little doors, and you can make any loads of little shapes and that. But I use them to like it's just to give the illusion of a door really. So we go through the door. Um, right. So as you can see, I've got so much more room to play with here. So what I've got, so I've used the mushroom platforms for the grass. I've also used, if you remember on the original, you got like little plants that you can pick up. Obviously we can't do it on here, but I've simulated the plants by using this. So it sort of like just pokes up above the mushroom platform to give you the illusion of like the plants. And I've got my trees here. I know I think you used these, didn't you, for the trees? Couldn't really do that, obviously, with the way I've got it set up. So I've done my own trees. You can go up these trees, which wasn't in the original, but they don't really do anything. So I suppose if you wanted like new secrets and new areas, now you could put some up there. So again, I've used the Koopas, stuck with the Koopas for the Shy Guys. Now, if you remember in the original, there was like a bird enemy that would kind of jump at you, and I think so. I've just used Koopa again. So I've used that Koopa. That's the bird guy. That's my version anyway. Um, so in the next bit, again in the original here, if you remember, there's a potion that sent you to like a special area, and obviously we ain't got a potion, so I've sort of created a small little puzzle bit. and I've got like a. I know this doesn't look great. I personally hate having the mushroom, not the mushroom, the pipes in mid-air. I might actually come back to this and change it up a bit, but I couldn't think of a way. I just couldn't think of a way of doing it at the moment without like sort of ruining the overall aesthetics. But there's a reason for it being there anyway. So what I've done is blocked it up. So the idea is you use the you get that shell, get them off the track there. Then you sort of like after time you jumped right. No, I'll try and do it. I'll try and do it. So you do this, and then you got to like. There you go. Did that first time. Right, and then it's a little awkward to get in, but oh god, I'm usually a lot better than this. There we go. So we go into the potion world, and yeah, I put a 1-up in there. In the original there was a mushroom, but there's a mushroom in the other right next on right through the pipe, so it's pointless. The coins are what the grapes were, so I put a coin wherever there was grapes, and that's pretty much it. Now you'll notice when I go back through here, it comes out that way. Oh, well that is weird. When I was making this, I could swear I swear that when I came back through this pipe, this no, that was reset. Oh, I know what I did. I bet I went into crate mode on the other side and it reset it. Ah, okay. And so what I've done is when you come back through the pipe, you come out like here. You come out underneath it. So I've got a second pipe pointing down. But if I'm not mistaken, you might actually be able to just do it without blocking the entrance. All right, don't matter. You're probably all confused now from what I've just said. But anyway, that's that bit. We'll move past that. Again, I've used the coins as grapes, and this is all there. Right, so this is the water section. I've used the ground texture for that because I thought that looked like a log. I think you did as well, actually, so don't really have to point that out. But I've used this for water, and the reason why I've done these platforms for water is because, but A, I like the texture looks like water, but also mainly because you can actually interact with it in a bit. Like you go on there and do you know what I mean? And plus over here, where the logs were, you remember on the original you got logs coming down where you can stand on? So it's sort of simulates it. Obviously the blue platforms disappear, which kind of ruins the aesthetic, but I don't know. It's another way of doing it. But like I say, your way it was fine. I mean, it worked. I just wanted to show you another way. And here was a 1-up. I'll just put it there. So here, actually, here's another bit. Right, in here is a bomb, and here is a shell, which is in the original games, but they were in plants. So unfortunately, I couldn't do that. So what I've done, if you notice here, this mushroom platform is 1 down, and the reason for that, just let it go, is that's how you get them. And to get the shell, it's like a little puzzle really. You get the bomb, then you blow up this block here with a bomb, and then you do the shower again to get the shell, that thing. Over here I got the star. It's float because on the original it sort of floated up, so I've got it on wings, so it sort of simulates it. Yeah, this bit's that's the waterfall, if you can remember. And the reason I've got the reason I've used these instead of the blue platform is because in the original game you could do like high jumps if you push down, if I remember correctly, or push the button. That's how you really got up to these like the up here. So on here, at least you can go up the waterfall in a sense, like that. And just in case you're wondering, well, if you do that and then come back down, you're stuck. Not necessarily. Go over here. It should all be set. There we go. I've also used the like I did before, the tracks here to like, sort of draw in the doors. Even though I've used the pipes for the transport. But But I'm saying the main thing you'll notice in this is so much more room to work with than what you did. Just because I dedicated the subworld to this main section. Um, it really helps. That's how I have, and all that extra space is it's amazing. Right, so this is where the multiple paths is. Now I know you didn't want the multiple paths, so I suppose you could block this off or whatever. But we'll continue with the main route. This is going to be a little longer video because it's a big old level. Right, so this where we go up to the cloud. Now what I've done here, see these here, the shell guys. This is to simulate the enemies that are on the vines that went up and down. You could stand on their head and ride them up, and they still it could kill you and stuff if they come on top of you. So like the original. There you go. Now the squid guys are those little fuzzy star-shaped things that would jump well, some of them would jump up and down, some of them would charge. So I've obviously done the jumping up and down ones. I've used squids. You know, you can still kill them. I don't know. It's as close as I could come. And like you, I've used doors to keep going up. And you know, this is all pretty similar. I mean, you got the clouds here. You had them as well, which was yeah. If there's one bit I had to sacrifice on, it was this bit because I just didn't have enough space. You know, this is it. This is the end of the subworld, so I had to condense this down a bit. In the original game, this was a much these vines were much bigger, and it was a much more of a platforming section. But I've had to I just had to cut it down. There's not much around. I couldn't get around it. So we go up. This is where the birdo batter is. These leaves will make sense in a minute. So go across here. I've done the clouds and everything. So what I've done is this. I've used. Oh no, there's a reason those leaves were there. So you get the leaf, and then you've got to stop his projectile. You use that to break the blocks that are covering the eagle's mouth. So it's not exactly like it was, but it's almost like a little game in itself in a sense. Let's get the last one. And there we go. And so yeah, just in case anyone don't know, you can actually put shells and enemies in the bullet bill. I've used again. Tracks are brilliant. I've used the tracks to sort of draw an eagle. That's my version of an eagle, and I've used a good way of let's get it. These fires. Right. Using these, you can use these for light bulbs and everything. If you got a in a castle level, you can use them for lights hanging from the ceiling. You can do you know what I mean? Like candles and stuff. So I've used that for the bird's eye. That was in the original. So yeah, right. Let's go back. I'll try and do this quickly because I am at 25 minutes now. So these two pipes go to the same area. This is the alternate route. And again, I've used the tracks to. I've also used in here. I've used the vines here. Let me just go back in there. As the plants come out of the ground. I wanted to show you this. So what I've used for the water in here is the back because we're in the ghost house theme here, and this is the one of the background platforms. Here we are, and like that, it doesn't look at anything, but when you extend it, it's very blue. I thought that kind of gives the impression of water. It's the closest I could get in this sort of set in the ghost house theme, and that's obviously goes to the other pipe. This section here, and yeah, I did something slightly different to you, but I don't know why I did really because yours was what I've done, I've just had because I get yeah I've tried to make it as close to the original as possible. And in the original, you only had 2 bombs, so I've only got 2 bombs. but it's the same thing, and it's still just as difficult. But if you go in here and go the alternate route, like the original, I've sort of started above the enemy, the boss. So you like sort of you jump down here and you're here. Obviously, that wasn't there. So yeah, that's my version. Very different, I know, but like I say, the main reason I could do all these changes and like expand it so much was purely on the fact that I put the main bulk of the level in the subworld, and then had all these little bits, all these little areas, like the start, the boss battle, the the secret ending sort of thing here, and also this little tiny bit I added in because they're in the main, not the sub level. It means I've got so much room for the main bulk of the level. That sounded more confusing than it was meant to be. um, so yeah, but like I say, in your original version, the main thing I would change is the water section, just because you go off screen. Um, you could the only way I could think you can do it is to get rid of the two platforms, get rid of the spikes, and just have it where you walk across the water. The only other way of doing it is to move that section down, but I know that causes issues. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say of this one. You know, the codes. The code. I'll show the code now for the original level, so people can check it out. No, this is a bit, apologies. I didn't want to do a long videos like this, but this one was a little different than the other two, so it's a little longer. It's only 7 minutes longer though. But, so there you go. There's the code. Check it out. Give it a star. I mean, the original was a good level. It was more linear, obviously, and yeah, I had a lot of fun doing this one. I really did because I don't usually do remakes, and it was really interesting to try and remake a level from a game that really is missing. Is so much missing from that specific game in this one. So, and also in the link, no, in the link in the description, I'm gonna add a link to a website, but it basically shows you. It has like maps of all the 2D Mario levels of all the games, and it's really great for people wanting to do remakes. So I'll link that in the description, so you can check that out if you're interested in doing remakes and stuff. And that's it for this one. So if you've watched if you've watched it up until this point, well, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't too boring. And that's that. See you next time.